Hello guys, I'm teacher Anderson and I'll be teaching you in this video class. First, let's review some of the information you might have seen before. Adverbs of frequency. Remember, adverbs of frequency, they give you an idea of how frequent you do something. For example, I teach English 5 days a week. So 5 days a week is an expression that gives me a frequency of my actions. So let's review this. Exercise 7 is a grammar box for you. When you're doing this, you are already bringing up the rule. Explore grammar, adverbs of frequency, and time phrases. Adverbs of frequency go before or after the verb be. Take a look here. I hate autumns. It's always so windy. The adverb of frequency here is always. Always is before or after be. It's after. So here, circle after. Adverb of frequency go before or after other main verbs. Let's take a look at the example. My brother usually stays up late at weekends. Stays up late is the verb. The adverb of frequency, usually. In that case then, it goes before other main verbs. Okay? The verb be has priority. The verb be wins. So it comes first. Other verbs, after. Other time expressions usually go at the end or in the middle of the sentence. I meet up with my friends at the weekend. So at the weekend is my time expression. It's at the end, so circle at the end. Okay? It's very easy. Like my example in the first time here. I said, I teach English 5 days a week. So 5 days a week, time expression at the end of the sentence. Okay? Is it possible to have it at the beginning? Sure. But it's not the proper place for it. It's going to be allocated in another place. For example, 5 days a week, I teach English. But normally, what happens is I teach English 5 days a week. Okay, so exercise 7, correction. The first one there, after, adverbs of frequency come after verb be, main verbs before. Time expressions at the end of the sentence, alright? 8. Put the words in the correct order to make sentences. So here, let's take a look at this exercise. Put the words in correct order to make sentences. So first we have to understand the subject of the sentence, or the kind of sentence that it is. If it's an affirmative sentence, is it a negative or question? Here we only have affirmative sentences. So first thing we have to do is we put the subject part first. We can see, that's our first, right? We can see a full moon once a month. And that's our, okay, hold on. That's our order, look. We, the people, the action, the object of the action, and the time expression. Okay? Then now we have usually in June it isn't dark. And remember, we have a verb be here. But our first thing is subject and verb. It isn't usually dark in June. Okay? 3. I like swimming now and then in the river. So I like swimming in the river now and then. Remember, time expressions at the end of the sentence. Okay, next exercise. Whoa, how late is this? Over here. 4. Tom and I, the people in the sentence. So that's the first one. Tom and I go skating once a week. Again, once a week, time expression, the end. Now here we have a subject, there's a verb, in the middle of the day, and often. So often is describing the time expression. So it often rains in the middle of the day. Why this is an adverb and this is the main verb. It's not be. So, adverbs first. I, on Friday evenings, am always tired. So, I am always tired on Friday evenings. So here we have subject, verb be, that's why it comes first, then adverb, the adjective here, tired, and the rest of the sentence. Okay? Any doubts? If you have any doubts, just go back to the exercise 7 where you have the rule, review it, and try again. Here we go. Exercise 9 is write true sentence about yourself using the prompts 1 to 6. Use one of these words or phrases in each sentence. So I'm going to write about myself using this. Or maybe give you the sample sentences. Every week or every weekend, most days, now and then, often, once, twice, 3 times a year, a week, rarely, or usually. Let's first organize the exercise. Let's separate time expressions and adverbs. So every week, once, twice, 3 times a year, now and then, and most days, they are all time expressions. So these ones, if you make sentences using them, at the end of the sentence. Often, rarely, and usually, these ones are adverbs. So you have to understand where to put them. Hang out with my friends. So in my case, my sentence would be something like, I often hang out with my friends. And I can use more things. For example, I often hang out with my friends. Most days, I could say that. 2, go on holiday. I go on holiday once a year. Take part in sport. I take part in a sport once a week because I play volleyball on Saturdays. 4, watch a movie. I usually watch a movie in the afternoon. Study. I study now and then. And read a book. I read a book now and then. Okay? There are sample answers here for you. 1, I hang out with my friends every weekend. 2, I go on holiday every now and then. This person must be rich. 3, I rather take part in a sport. 4, I watch a movie once a week. 5, I study most days. 6, I read a book every evening. And that's it. Okay? E aí, pessoal, sempre que tiverem dúvidas, voltem na regra, revisem e tentem fazer o exercício de novo. Sempre legal também ir além do que o exercício pediu. Vamos supor, o exercício 7 pediu para vocês, o 8 pediu para vocês colocarem as frases em ordem. Que tal se vocês fizessem esse exercício 8 com informações de vocês utilizando os prompts que já existem? Então, ó, we can see a full moon once a month. Essa daqui não tem jeito porque realmente é once a month. Mas it isn't usually dark in June. De repente lá nessa região. E aqui? Ok. Não. Então, só revisando, pessoal. Os adverbs of frequency, como que eles funcionam? Normalmente eles vêm antes de verbos principais, de outros verbos, e depois do verbo be. O verbo be tem preferência. Então, se você tem uma frase que vai ter alguma forma do verbo be, am, is, are, ou was, were, você vai utilizar primeiro o verbo be, depois o advérbio de frequência. No caso de outros verbos, o advérbio vem primeiro, depois vem os outros verbos. Por exemplo, vamos pensar em chegar atrasado e estar atrasado. Isso em inglês você vai dizer, chegar atrasado, I always arrive late. Se você for utilizar o estar atrasado, I am always late. Ok? E time expressions, fim da frase. Now, power up, speaking. We can do the speaking here, but we can do something similar. I can ask you to think about the answer to this question. So, first one there, what would be your answers to this question? What's your name? What's your family name? What's your full name? And what's your surname? Okay? So think about your answers. Name, family name, full name. My answers, for example, my name is Anderson. My family name is Anderson Gonçalves. My full name, Anderson Ferreira Gonçalves, and my surname, Anderson Gonçalves. Okay? What's your first name, second name, middle name, and nickname? Now, middle name, some people don't have it. Some people do. I don't have a middle name. But let's take a look at the sample answers here. My name is Kate. My family name is Blackley. My full name is Kate Elizabeth Blackley. And my surname is Blackley. So, surname, middle name here, let's think about number 2 here. Look, my name is Kate. My second name is Blackley. My middle name is Elizabeth. My nickname is Katie. So, she's got a compound name like José Ricardo. She is Kate Elizabeth. Okay? Exercise 2, in pairs again, it's not possible right now unless you have a partner at home to help you out that also studies English. Take turns to ask for and give the information to complete the table. Spell any difficult words, and it's very important to do this, the spelling. Whenever you give your name, especially in another country, they might not understand your name because it's not a national name for them. So you have to spell their name. Say letter by letter that compounds a name. So for example here, how do you spell the town? K-A-N-Y-A. So letter by letter. K-A. Personal information, name, address, town, and postcode, email. Now think about the questions for this. First, make up the question. For example, the name. So what's your name, right? And then address. How do you ask about address? How do you ask about town? How do you ask about postcode or zip code? Postcode in England, Great Britain, and zip code in the United States. And email. How do you ask for a person's email? Okay, think about that. Let's see some sample answers. Oh, everything right. Okay, so name. What's your name? It's Kate. What's your surname? It's Blackley. How do you spell that? B-L-A-C-K-L-E-Y. What's your address? It's 11 Green Street, Newport. Oh, one thing. When you give your address in another country, the address there, because the postal system, the mail system will be the ones reading it. First number, then street name, and then the rest. Here in Brazil, of course, if you're going to give them your address in Brazil, you have to follow our order in Brazil because the postal service that will be reading this is ours. So So it's 11 Green Street, Newport. Okay. What's the postcode, or what's your postcode? Okay. It's NP1 3LD. Okay. And zip code is the same. What's your email address? It's katieblackley94@ukmail.com. Okay, and important information here. At, little A in the circle, at. The little dot there, point, it's a dot, okay? Now, think about the question and give your personal information to this. Okay, now let's just take a look at the useful language here. Giving reasons and examples. When we explain things, usually, there's more, but usually we use because, as, there's one reason. For example, for instance, we can use many expressions. These one are the most common. So for example, when a person asks me, why do you play volleyball only on Saturdays? So because I only have time on Saturdays. Because I only have time on Saturdays. Or I can answer like this, well, as I only have time on Saturdays, I play volleyball on that day. Okay? So let's go on here. Exercise 3. We have time. Exercise 3 is listening. Listen to Elsa, Chan, and Chan answering these interview questions. Who gives the best answers and why? Okay? So go there.
Elsa, where do you live?
I live in the town centre.
And where do you come from?
I come from England.
True. Where do you come from, Chen?
I'm from Guangzhou. It's a very big city in China, but it's not the capital. My aunt lives near the main square.
Where do you live?
I don't live in China. I live in the United States, but I like to visit my family in China.
Okay, now which one of them gave the best answer? Elsa or Chan? Okay, I think it's Chan. Why? Chan gives more information to each question. So he passes the idea, he conveys an idea that he is really into talking, he's really wanting to talk more about this. Now Elsa is just sticking to the answer. Okay, just when somebody asks, of course if you can't do that, don't force it, but if you can give some more information to each question, it's nice, it's friendly. Okay, now I'll assign some exercises here for you as homework. So try to answer these questions yourself, like giving the best answer you can give for exercise 3. Exercise 5, wait a minute, 5, 6, no, so 5, 6, and 7, it could be for homework, but try to come up with your own answers because these are all pair exercises and you might not have a partner to do this with. So try doing it on your own, okay? Think about the questions and answers. And also, workbook page. Okay, hold on. Try doing exercise the first part of exercise 1, 2, 3, and 4 for homework. Okay? Guys, I hope you liked it, and see you next time.